Guys, thank you so much for being here for another Good Morning Meeting. If you are someone who wants to learn how to create insane culture, get the most out of your reps, learn how to be a friend and a leader, and if most importantly, you want to make the summer a phenomenal experience for your reps, you are talking to the expert of those things. This is none other than Ryan Jenkins.
What's up? Thanks for having me.
Ryan, tell us, give the people what they want, dude. Tell us a little bit about who you are, where you're from, your age, kind of just, let's get to know you a little bit.
My name's Ryan Jenkins. A lot of the people around me call me RJ. I'm 27, so getting up there. Guy to my right's older, guy to the left younger.
Yep.
But
got a happy medium here.
Most of the people around me are younger, so starting to feel old. From Auburn, California, grew up in California, moved out to Utah after I served an LDS mission in the Philippines, and I've been living here for 8 years now. So, yeah.
So don't shake his right hand. Is that the right thing with the Philippines?
Correct.
Perfect.
It's a lot cleaner by now, but yes.
I love that.
8 years later.
Love it. Well, Ryan, dude, what's really unique is I actually don't know you super, super well. We are in different organizations at the Grit, but I feel like I know you because I've heard so many people talk about you and about the experience they have being on your teams. You've won the Rumble. You've also, what's cool is it's not like what's your best summer?
300 accounts.
It's great.
Yeah.
But you've produced 5 golden doors. You've had, again, phenomenal. I've seen so many videos, and we're going to dive into that about just kind of some of the things you do to create culture. But dude, where I'd love to start is you have kind of a controversial take on, a lot of people will throw out the term, hey, be a leader first and a friend second. But it sounds like you have a little bit of a different take on that. Walk us through like what your thoughts are and how maybe you see it differently.
So that statement it's a really good statement, and it's mainly true. Like, it really is mainly true. But people sometimes, I don't know, they lean into it a little too much, and they sometimes discard the fact that, yes, you need to be a leader, but a lot of the time, friend is like the main thing a lot of people need. And I've seen that I've managed for 5 years now, and a lot of the time, and I feel like most of the time, it's been, especially with summer sales, it's so hard, it's so emotional, it's draining, and I've seen most of the time being a friend has a lot of the time helped the rep more than being a leader. On the flip side, though, I've seen the opposite, where you need to lead and you need to enforce and demand respect and the whole thing. But so yeah, some people for sure would call it controversial, but I think it's just it's good to look at it from both ways and really understand that a lot of the time you do need to be leader first and friend second, but sometimes the people need the friend first and then the leader second.
So it sounds like it's less black and white and more about actually looking at the person and understanding what they need in that moment, because it's not always you have to be the leader. Sometimes they need to be the friend. Well, follow-up question, dude, it's super easy, I'm sure, to be friends with your friends. Like, you work with a lot of your homies, that you love. How do you develop a real friendship with reps that maybe you're like not as close with naturally?
It's a good question, because, when you get out and you manage, the past 2 summers I've managed 60-man teams, and even though you meet these people before the summer and, have their vision meeting and training and whatnot, you don't really know them when you get out for the summer. And it's one of the things I like the most about managing too. It's like you have 3 to 4 months to really get to know some of these guys, and you naturally become super, super close with them. But a lot of the time, the way you make that friendship and kind of answer your question is in like their most vulnerable moments, when you're picking them off the ground and motivating them and inspiring them, and they're super vulnerable with you, and you're able to do the same with them. And that's when you kind of build a friendship. And like I work with my best friends, and that's one of the things I love the most about this job. But one of the coolest things too is just, no matter who it is, it could be, an 18-year-old from across the country, or, a 25-year-old from locally in Utah. It's like, it doesn't matter who it is. You're kind of able to get to know everybody and relate on one thing during the summer, and it's the grind.
Love it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to brush over that. I feel like being able to connect through commonality is something that's like really valuable about what we do. Is, we've all done this job, and we, obviously all continue to do this job. And so when you're speaking to people and they are getting like really vulnerable with you, it's honestly like a sign of, in my opinion, a really good leader, because it just shows that someone is willing to like go to the ends and like ask for advice when they're really just at rock bottom. And that, I feel like, is what's created probably some of the strongest relationships in door to door, and why people sometimes like end up leaving or pivoting because they feel the lack of connection. So I guess like my question on that is, you've had tons of elite sellers. You've also had people who maybe haven't done as well. You talk to us about hard conversations. Like what does a hard conversation look like when you've built such, you obviously create culture before the summer, but you're really not tight until you've gone to war together. So like after you've gone to war together for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, whatever it may be, and you've put countless time into people and they've put effort, but it still just isn't making sense. Like, is that like your normal vernacular? Is it hard conversations, or is it something that you've struggled with in the past?
Yeah, I like that, because we talk about all the time setting expectations for the summer. And like, I'm sure we've heard people say it over and over. These shouldn't be hard conversations if the right expectations were set.
Totally.
It's like, well, they're still pretty hard.
They're still hard.
they're still pretty damn hard.
Newsflash. They don't get easier.
Exactly. And it's like, people will ask me like, dude, what's the hardest part about managing? And it's that. It's totally that. It's seeing somebody that gave it their all and trusted in you to come out for the summer and did the best they could, and it's just not clicking. And it's having to sit down and talk with them and tell them that, it's not going to work and you got to go home. And so with that, like, it's totally the hardest part. And a lot of people are like, oh, that sucks so bad for the rep. And it does. But that's what I hate the most about managing, to be honest, is seeing people come out and not hit their goals or fall short or not even finish the summer, and having to let them down and send them home. Same time though, you have to do it. Like, you have to do it as a good leader, or else you'll never have that top tier culture or high standard as a team.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people stray away from that, right? In the industry, it could be a good call out, right? Sometimes it would be easy to say, hey, I'm going to keep this rep out here, even though it's not in their best interest, because maybe A, you're going to make good money on them, or B, you're just holding on to this hope where, to be honest, as a leader, there's a point where you just know.
We've all seen it.
And I think that it takes a really strong leader to actually see into, like, to say, hey, I actually think what's going to be best for this rep isn't for them to stay out. I don't want them to go home, have a bad experience, be negative monies, which no one likes to be negative monies, especially after a job like this.
No negative monies.
To what you're saying, Ryan, I think it's just important as a leader to actually make decisions that are going to be best for the rep's future. And sometimes that means you have to pony up, have the hard conversation, and send them home. But in the long run, if it's going to be what's best for the rep, it's worth doing.
Yeah, and it like, they should understand after that hard conversation, they'll understand it's best for them. And I've had multiple times sending people home, and even if they disagree with me weeks later, months later, or even like after the summer next year, they'll hit me up and be like, dude, thank you. I learned so much. I know it didn't work out for me, but I'm like so grateful for what I've learned and this and that. And it's like, it's really rewarding that way too. So hard conversations often lead to like still success in their lives, right? But it's like Parker said, you have to do it. Like, you have to do it. You can't push through it and just like push it off. Like, that's not only bad for the rep, like clearly going negative.
Yeah, not good.
It's horrible for the team and the team culture.
Yeah, talk about that. Like that's where I want to kind of take this conversation. You've ran some, for those of you who don't know, like when Parker says, oh, I don't know Ryan super well, but I know him through how people speak of him, he's spoken in the highest regard. It's like
100%.
You've ran some of the best, at least at our company, some of the best teams at our company, which I would argue to say, I'm biased, I would argue to say is the best teams in the industry. But ultimately, like even if not so, like your teams have gone out and produced, and it hasn't been because of one guy. Like, it's not like every year you've just had this superstar in your team that shows up. Like, you've just risen the ground that you stand on. I feel like everybody has kind of risen to the occasion. Now, every team has like the cream of the crop and then people who kind of fall. You got your 80-20 rule, all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But like, talk to me. Okay, you send a rep home. Obviously not a fun conversation.
Mm-hmm.
How does the team dynamic change? And like, why is that actually probably one of the most important things that managers don't do?
Yeah. There's always going to be changes during the summer, and that's one of like the early ones, right? And your top priority as a manager is steering the ship in the right direction, right? And keeping the vibes high and the culture elite, right? That's what you want to do to help provide success for the team. And like we hit on earlier with like expectations, like reps arriving in the summer, they know things are going to change, right? They know people are going to get sent home. And so that doesn't make it so that they don't get tight with each other early. It's like, no, everybody's still getting tight. But when people get sent home, right, it happens. Everybody understands it. But also everybody understands that's the nature of the job. And they might be sad for a minute. And then it's, guess what? Time to get going again, on to the next mountain. So the biggest thing for me, and thank you guys for I feel like you guys hype me up a little too much.
I don't know about that. I
think
don't
you
know
do.
if
Maybe
I
not
feel
enough.
quite enough.
No, but I've been able to learn from the best, and that's what I think's helped me rise to the occasion. Like learning from guys like Easton Bunker, being close with guys like Drew Hansen, learning from guys like you guys, Preston Strickland. It's like some of the best managers have helped me figure it out, right? And not only that, high praise to the guy that I've worked closest with, Drew Wood. It's like, dude, that guy makes managing easy. You know what I mean? It's like that is a guy, and I'm sure we'll like mention it more. Double Golden Door winner, like he's an elite leader himself. He's going to go out and manage a massive squad this year, and so I've been able to, succeed at some great things, but wouldn't be able to do it without the people I've learned from and the people around me too. So.
Yeah. Well, vulnerably speaking, like just to get raw, dude, your teams have obviously crushed. But again, like Drew is a superstar, but he wasn't always a superstar. He's always been a great guy, and then he emerged and became elite. Right now, part of it is entirely on him. He's that guy. He actually is that. He is that guy. He's so good.
100%.
Maybe he just didn't believe he was at first, and then his trajectory was way different. So like, how have you been able to draw that out of so many people? Because it hasn't just been him. It's been him. It's been his brother. Not to mention this guy, let's not forget, like he had the best rookie of all time, 750K and 750 accounts in his program.
Shout out Dallin Peterson.
Dallin Peterson.
12% attrition. Let's not look past that.
Oh, yeah. And he did it the right way.
That's right.
And so it's like, dude, you see things in others that they don't see in themselves, or maybe you just bring it out of them. Like, let's simmer on that. What does that look like? How are those conversations? Yeah. We got to cut the people who aren't good culture fits.
For sure.
How do you make sure the guys who should be elite actually rise to that occasion?
It's making sure they're in the right situation. That's like a huge thing. And I mean,
so what do you mean by that?
That's what if we're going to even take a step back, like, well, we won't take a step back. Let's lead back into that. Okay. Specifically for reps that like have done really well. Like if we're going to even talk about it from like a manager standpoint, making sure they're in the right car groups, making sure they're hanging out with the right people, making sure they're getting the best vibes possible from people that are going to bring them up, not drag them down, making sure they understand what they're capable of. You know what I mean? Like those are the things that if you don't do that, that kills a rep's potential. And I mean, he could still be a great rep, but he probably has more to give if he doesn't understand his potential, what he can do, and making sure he's surrounded with the right people. And I feel like a huge reason we've had so many people have so much success like early in their career, whether it's rookie, sophomore, whatever it is, it's because the people they're around. Like Drew Wood, for example, the guy is a great rookie, amazing sophomore, Golden Door. It's like, guess what? When we have some of our reps close to him, that compounds. It's like the next guy will do a Golden Door, and then it just compounds more and more so that these guys, the standard is no longer just to get to 100K. Yeah. It's, Dallin Peterson did a Golden Door his rookie year. He is the greatest ever. Like, okay, if he could do a Golden Door, surely I can do 400K. Yeah. You know, it's totally about the standard that's set and the culture. And I'm blessed to be around like the people that we set that standard, we hold that standard, and we don't let it dip.
Dude, I love it. And it sounds to me, right, like I'm sure a lot of people are asking the question, like, hey, if they want to be like Ryan, right, they want to have successful teams, have successful culture, and maybe, you know, they're at a point in their career where they're thinking about getting off the doors. Dude, it sounds to me like kind of the song and dance of your career has been intentional leadership, right? You are what that person needs at that time, whether that's a friend or a leader. You are intentional about, dude, if they're hanging out with the wrong groups, I'm sure you're like the puppeteer making sure, hey, let's get these guys together. You're moving car groups, where I think so many leaders in this space, what they do incorrectly is they kind of just leave things up to chance. Sounds like you are the quarterback of the team. You are behind the scenes. You're moving things around to make sure everyone's getting what they need. And that's probably why it's probably no surprise, right, that you're having the success that you're having in your team. So, dude, want to make a little bit of a transition here. Okay. Name of the podcast is Good Morning Meeting, right? Yeah. One of the things that's been really fun for me is I have seen some outlandish videos from your career. Yeah. Right? I've seen you wearing like fairy dresses. I've seen you wearing diss tracks. I've seen you wearing hot dog costumes and a whole bunch of random stuff. So I think it goes without saying, everyone knows this job's hard. Yeah. What role has fun played, and what are some of the things that maybe someone listening to this podcast could go apply to their morning meeting to just inject some fun and some life into the meetings?
Oh, it's so true. It's like this this is the hardest thing a lot of people will ever do in their lives. Like summer sales is so hard and people downplay it. Knocking doors is incredibly hard. That's why so many people quit and they go home. I realized this pretty early in my career. It was actually my first year with the Grit, Easton Bunker managing the team. And I've never enjoyed knocking doors, never at all. You know,
Really?
when I see a park bench, I've always wanted to take a seat. No,
It's calling your name.
it knows my name. And I've always struggled to push that away and keep slapping lumber. But the one thing, the one thing that I remember when some of the hardest rumble days, when you've been marathon day for 5 days straight, you're tired, hungry, dehydrated, the whole thing. For some reason, thinking about the funny things that happened in the meeting, like, that would get me going for some reason. It would fire me up and get me back on the doors because I would just laugh and like, wow, this is crazy what we're doing right now. Back to the doors. Let's keep going. And that like kept me going early. And I'm like, okay, I kind of recognize that. Shout out Easton for running fun meetings. Like quick like sidetrack. My first 2 years I worked for Aptiv, and then my third year I came over to the Grit, and that was just something that I didn't like ever have before. And so that switch right there, like just the difference in morning meetings, it helped me have my best summer. It helped me have more fun. It helped me enjoy it more.
So you're trying to say there's a lot of value in a good morning meeting.
Good morning meeting. That is the most value, a lot of value. But I want to hit on that is, as a manager, there's very few things you can control, right? It's like you said, you could quarterback things, change car groups. You can't get in somebody's mind and be the puppeteer and help them feel happy, excited, and get rid of all the, depressing, sad feelings. Mm-hmm. One thing you can control 100% is morning meetings. That's like, you can control that, right? You can't control whether little Timmy gives up at 7:00 or not. Like, what you could control is little Timmy having a smile on his face in the morning and throwing chairs, right? And like, one thing you could control is putting people in costumes and making it fun and funny and hype. And dude, some people will sell for one summer. They're not going to really remember the random Thursday in July that they were knocking and they sold 5. Mm-hmm. They're going to remember somebody dressed up as Bowser in the morning meeting and jumping through a table. Like, and it's about making memories and having fun. And like, those are the things that people enjoy. And sometimes that'll be the reason somebody comes back and sells again, is because they're like, wait, that wasn't that bad. You know what I mean? So I've always like tried to make an effort of controlling what I can control, especially in managing. And morning meetings have always been something that you could have full control of. So
where do you come up with these ideas? Because I'm sure there's people listening that it's going to feel super out of their comfort zone. They're thinking like, I'm not getting in a Bowser costume. But like, so I guess, where do you come up with these ideas? And then maybe give us just a couple of things that you've done that you know are memorable for your people. Or you or the squad have done.
I mean, I don't have a notepad. I don't sit down and plan these things out. These are the late night, in bed, random thoughts.
The insomniac.
Yeah.
You're just up late.
Yeah, or early morning in the shower, super tired, and idea comes in your head. And there's really no like planning out and scheming. It kind of just comes up like, oh, that would be cool, right? So, or sometimes some of the boys will just hit me up, hey, we should do this. This would be sick. Yeah, dude, I'm down. Let's do it. And we make it happen. But no,
give us a couple of your favorites. A couple of the favorite, again, so Bowser costume, jumping through a table.
So Chicago 2024. Rumble, we've got the warehouse there's awesome, right? We got a full warehouse. The meeting space is amazing. We shut all the lights off. We've got disco lights going. We got fog, the whole thing. And we've got Bowser. We've got George Washington. We've got a nun.
These are reps dressed up.
Yeah. I'm Jack Sparrow. There were monkeys. It was everything, right? This was probably one of the most outrageous meetings. And shout out Ike Nelson, summer 2024, Bowser, and he jumped through a table for us, and we probably had one of our better days. That was a fun one. Most recent one, we hired out a Abraham Lincoln impersonator to come into Portland with us. That was this last August.
Sick.
He taught us about selling good, honest accounts. Right. So
Honest Abe.
Shout out our attrition. That's the main reason for our attrition right there is Honest Abe helped us through.
Yeah.
Dude, well, I love that because it's such a creative way. It's like you probably wanted to teach the principle of let's sell good, honest accounts. And it's like Ryan can get up there and Ryan can say it, but you probably just had the idea like, what if Honest Abe got up there? And most people, that's where the idea dies. Mm-hmm. It sounds like when you have these crazy ideas, you just don't think about it and you just send it.
Yeah. Correct. Yeah, send it. Just send it. That's like what you should always do. One of my favorite ones, I didn't even do it. Cody Olive, the midgets. Yeah. If you know, you know.
Yep. Yeah, if you know, you know, for sure. So my question is this. So you've ran some of the most like crazy morning meetings, hype, but let's not just like gloss over the fact that didn't just like stop there. It transitioned into some of the best days the company's ever seen.
Yeah.
Your reps went out and crushed. So like, obviously the morale is there, but you've got to be somewhat good at teaching guys how to sell too. Like, and maybe it's maybe it's like leaning back on the people who have done it, or maybe because when last time you full-time knocked was 2023.
Correct. Yeah.
So it's like maybe the most relevant information is more so from the people who are like actively doing it on that day. How do you empower those people to like step up and like still give the sauce, as they say? And then you close out the meeting with the vibes, and then like, dude, Rumble champ, Rumble
23, yeah, Rumble
2023 Rumble champ. He's been in the Rumble contention every single year.
Yep.
So like when rubber hits the road, your guys do well.
Yes.
Like all summer they do okay. They ramp, they get better. They do all the things that every office does, where they just get a little bit better. But then they just turn up the heat.
Mm-hmm.
Is that more training? Is it more energy? Like, what's the balance?
It's a healthy mix of both, I'd say. On the note of training, it's like, yeah, we obviously, when it comes to training, I'm not always going to be up there giving the trainings. Like, totally. People don't always, and I've got to be self-aware enough to know, people don't always want to hear from the guy that, isn't the most elite salesman. Like, sometimes they need to hear from the guy that's
you did sell 300 accounts.
Yeah.
You are good. Like, that's better.
I can still get out there.
Still got it.
But they want to hear from the guy that just sold 10 back-to-back days, or the rookie that just did 7K. It's like, those are the people that reps want to be trained by, right? Mm-hmm. So in the fact of like empowering those reps to do that, they it's as simple as the night before I call them, hey, dude, you are ripping. Like, could you train on this? Like, and if they're like hesitant, like, oh, I don't know if like I'm to the point of being able to train. It's like, no, dude, you are. Like, you are selling at a great level. Like, people need to hear from you. Yeah. And it doesn't need to be a 45-minute training, dude. It could be as simple as the guy getting up for 10 minutes and giving a few tips on like what he's done. But to the point of training, it's a healthy mix of both, of hearing from the elite reps, but also falling back on just good, like, structured trainings, right?
Fundamentals.
PowerPoints, like fundamentals, repetition, which obviously I'm very capable of still giving good, like, structured trainings. Now, There's nothing better than hearing from the guys that are golden doors. Like, those guys are going to train the best. So, of course, we are going to have those guys train. With the question of, like, when it comes to Rumble time, it's go time. Mm-hmm. That is simply expectations and culture. Like, that is all it comes down to. Mm-hmm. Us turning up in the Rumble every year, it's like, yes, we're a talented group and we're all aware of that, but it's not talent that like gets us to where we are. It never has been. It's like, yes, our team in 2023 was extremely talented, but no, it was just wanting it more. It was the energy, the hype, the expectation, and overall just the culture, which kind of wraps it all together. Yeah. Like when people start knocking May, June, like, they know the end result is Rumble. Like, that is what we ramp up to, is on your mind is Rumble, come Rumble time this, come Rumble time that. And it's like, once rubber meets the road and it's Rumble time, everybody knows it's go time. And that's confirmed by an outrageous morning meeting where people are fired up and ready to go. So,
sorry, I was going to say, just to get a little bit granular, because I think it's, dude, you're dropping so many bars. Like, it's the energy, it's the culture. What does a morning meeting look like to you? Like, in the summer, generally it's July 10th. Yeah. Rookies are struggling, vets are struggling. Yeah. Maybe people are in like a little hump. Mm-hmm. What does it look like for you to run? Like, what's the perfect morning meeting? Yeah. And then how does it, like, a second point, and you can branch off into this if you'd like, is how does it change in the Rumble? Or like a competition series, for those who don't know what the Rumble is, like a really big competition. Mm-hmm. How does it change then versus like what the normal day-to-day looks like? Cool.
It's definitely different. And one thing too that I love doing with my teams is, like, they never know what's going to happen when they walk in that door. Like, I want them to be on their toes always. Like, they're not just walking in, sitting down, time to listen for an hour. Okay, then we're going to talk about goals, get hyped, and leave. It's like, no, when you walk in the door, you could see anybody in there. Like, you don't know who's going to be in there.
Might be Abe Lincoln.
Yeah, it might be Bowser.
Could be Abe, could be Bowser, could be a nun. You just don't know. And that'll keep them on their toes, right? Now, I'm not saying it's going to be something different every single day, because it's not. It's like, you are going to get into a routine, and that's what people want.
They need structure.
Yeah, you have to have structure. And so, to answer your question, walk in. tip number one, and this could add on to the question you say, my advice to managers is buy a huge ass speaker. You've got to have a big speaker.
Vibes need to be going.
Plug a link in the chat for the big JBL.
Yep.
Got to have the music, got to have the vibes, got to be loud.
Give this guy his royalties on it.
Yeah, please. People walk in and they got to wake up, right? They got to have an energy drink in hand, awake. It's go time. It's not time to sleep through the training. So just loud music, vibes, energy, like saying hi, talking, and then we get going. We do 45-minute training, right? From whoever's selling the best. I'll always give a training, but like I've said, I've been blessed to have Drew Wood in these on my teams. He is an elite trainer, and so having him give sales trainings, but sales training for 45 minutes. For the next 15 minutes, role play. You just practice.
Get the reps in.
Yep. And then after that, little 2-minute break, get everybody back in. And then it's simply, we talk about goals, housekeeping, and then it is lights off, hype. Somebody gives the weather. You got to have a weatherman, by the way. This is pro tip. Got to have the weatherman.
Love that.
And then once the weatherman's complete, it is straight into mosh pit with music, get a goal, hype up, get out, everybody straight to their car, go time.
Getting out. Well, dude, I love that. And just want to touch on something, right? Something that I found a ton of success in on my teams is like, how do you, it's pretty easy to hype up like the top dogs.
Yeah.
It's pretty easy to hype up the middle guys. It's that lower echelon of people that are really struggling, that come to the morning meeting depressed and sad. How do you hype them up? One of the things that I've found, and I'm curious if you've done something similar, is, dude, give that guy a job, right? Yes. The kid who's struggling, make him the DJ. And all of a sudden it's like, hey, dude, I really need you to bring the energy tomorrow. Now the kid's on time.
Yes.
He's like, you're telling him, hey, today I need rap music. Hey, today I need house music. And this guy does it, dude. It gives you an opportunity to go to that kid after and start his day with like love, appreciation, hype. Hey, dude, you crushed the music today. Yes. And it might sound little, but sometimes that little kid, not that little kid, sometimes that guy, he can't find success in the doors, but when you can help him have a win in the morning meeting, dude, it's so big. Same thing with the weather guy. I remember we had this guy, a little bit like different than the rest of the team, couldn't connect, but dude, he became the weather guy. And dude, we would get so hyped. Same thing, we had this bug guy. Dude, he became like the bug guy, and he took it so serious. And so I think for any company, any industry, like when you have people that are struggling, give them a job, give them some sort of responsibility that allows you to hype them up and build their confidence. Because this job it's confidence. If a kid's not getting confidence from the doors, get creative. How can you start to give him confidence in other areas? Have you had any similar experience with that?
100%. And just to add on to what you said, giving these people like just something to do in the meetings that they do every day, just gives them identity on the team. That's all that people want. Like all that people want is to feel like they belong. You know what I mean? They want to feel like they're a part of the team. And dude, that person's not always going to be the guy that's going to sell a ton and is going to get hyped up when we're talking about numbers and accomplishments. But dude, if he feels like he belongs and he has identity in the team, like he's going to stick and he's going to stay with the team and he's going to be a big part of that culture, right? And people build around that. So like having people making sure people feel welcomed, belonged, and like they're supposed to be there, that alone could like build confidence, right? Because guess what? They're tight with the team, they're tight with the squad, and it comes down to, hey dude, like you've got to be selling 5 a week, or like it doesn't make sense for you to be here. Dude, in his mind, like getting 5 deals might not motivate him like money wise, but him knowing he has to get 5 or he has to leave the boys, like he has to go home and he loses his job as the weatherman, dude, that might fire him up and keep him out here.
Oh, you know dude, Ryan, you are spitting such bars right now. And dude, I think that guys, like hopefully you're coming to this podcast because you're trying to get value out of it. You're trying to understand, how can I be a better manager? How can I be a better team leader? And I think what you just said is such a key, and I want to end on this, right?
Yeah.
Is dude, human beings want to feel a part of something. I bet a big reason why so many people quit is because they don't feel like they're a part of the team. They don't feel like they have an identity. They don't feel connected. And it seems like in a lot of ways you figured that out. And I think there's a ton of different elements, right? You've talked about having narratives. You're talking about the Rumble all the way back in the very first, meetings. Yeah. You've talked about the role that culture plays, where culture is this driving force. Like, again, it's not talent that gets your guys going. It's this culture and this narrative that's been there the whole time. And then you're a leader who's a quarterback. Right? What I love about you, Ryan, is you don't need all the recognition. I will say, like, you have done so much for this industry and you probably don't get your flowers enough. But I don't think that you need it. Right? I think that you're happy to be the quarterback who's maybe not, or you're the coach calling plays. Yeah. And because of that, you have people that, to be clear, they feel like they are a part of something. They feel like they have an identity. And dude, like what an amazing gift to give some kid, right, who probably hasn't felt like he's a part of something and comes to one of your teams and feels a part of it. So let's close on this, Ryan. And again, thank you for being here, dude.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Dude, let's just end on this, right? What role has culture? I know you've talked about it a little bit, but getting specific, like what role has culture and identity played in like the sum total of your success?
Because specifically, culture is a word that gets thrown around pretty willy-nilly.
A lot, yeah.
Culture, in my eyes, and maybe I'm incorrect in my definition, I think culture is more correlated to results than anything. Him stating, hey, you've been kind of the coach. You've taken a step back. You've seen the whole field, right? It's allowed other superstars to rise to the occasion and actually create like that culture, right? And you've had the results. You've had the track record. So like, how has that played out in your career? And like, how's it gotten you to where you are?
Yeah.
Hopefully that's the right question.
Yeah, I like that. I'd say like on the fact of culture, it totally gets thrown around a lot, and people claim they have good culture and great culture and whatever
Everybody
it is.
does.
Everybody's got the best culture, right?
Of course.
Culture without results is just not. Or sorry, you claim you have good culture but no results. That's not good culture. Yeah. It's like if you have good culture but nothing comes from it, then what's the point? You know what I mean? It's like,
facts.
Dude, people aren't coming out to the summer to have good culture. They're coming out to the summer to have success, to accomplish their goals.
Yeah.
Like the whole point of having good culture is to get to that point, right? And so like being able to focus on culture in a team dynamic for me, being the guy that has never gone out and had the biggest summers personal wise, right? Like I've never been out and been the best salesman. You know what I mean? Being able to focus just on coaching and being the quarterback behind the scenes and creating the culture, seeing results come from it is what drives me to have the best culture and have my seeing my reps succeed year after year. Like that's what makes it all worth it. Like given flowers or not, like, dude, I do not care. I will be behind the scenes, behind the curtain, like the puppeteer, whatever you want to call me, as long as my guys are eating and having success and it's because of the culture and the people around them. That's all I care about. And so one thing I'd say is like for anybody going out and managing, whether it's your first time or you've done it before, like focus on A+ culture and you'll see results come from it. You don't want to work backwards from results and then create culture. It's like the great culture is what will create the results. You can't skip steps there. And so focus on relationships, loyalty. I love that we talked about like, dude, helping people feel like they belong. Like, dude, that's what it's about. Like, there's nothing that breaks my heart more than seeing somebody sitting alone. Like that is the worst. And that doesn't happen, right? Mm-hmm. Teams with great culture, they're teams that unify together and fight for one goal. And that's where you'll get the success from, is focusing on that A+ culture.
Dude, I love it. Well, Ryan, if there's there's anyone out there, if there's anyone out there that wants to like get in contact with you, maybe they want to, have some questions about different ideas for the summer, want to talk to you about culture, identity, how can they find you?
Instagram, Ryan Jenkins 32. Find me, hit me up, follow me, hit me with a DM.
Yep.
I'll talk your ear off.
I'll send you the video of the Bowser. If you really want to see Bowser jump through a table, DM this guy on Instagram. That might give you a little bit of inspiration.
Abe Lincoln, Bowser, dude, text me. I'll send you the video. These are true things. These aren't false.
Love it. Well, guys, we'll see you next week on Good Morning Media.
Thank you, guys.